Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, distinguished colleagues. Again, here from New York. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to warmly welcome you to this stakeholder consultation. Also on behalf of His Excellency Mr. Ekitela Lokale, Permanent Representative of Kenya, and my fellow co-facilitator for the WSIS+20 review, the General Assembly's process to assess the implementation of the outcomes of the World Summit on the Information Society. We will begin this session today with welcoming remarks from the Office of the President of the General Assembly, which is convening these 2 days of informal interactive consultations. I have the pleasure now to give the floor to Mr. Ivor Fong, Chief of Cabinet of the President of the UN General Assembly. Mr. Fong, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moderator. Excellencies, distinguished participants from tech communities, non-governmental organizations, the private sector, and other stakeholders. This year, we reflect on progress made over 20 years since the landmark World Summit on the Information Society. Your participation in today's stakeholder consultation is critical and deeply appreciated. The insights, experiences, and expertise you bring are central to ensuring this review is inclusive. And that leads to an equitable, transparent, and fair digital future for all. As you know, our deadlines for the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development are fast approaching. And the urgency to bridge the digital divide has never been greater. Digital technologies, when harnessed equitably and responsibly, can be powerful accelerators of sustainable development. From education and healthcare to agriculture and climate action, they are already transforming how we deliver services, share knowledge, and uplift communities. Yet, billions of our fellow citizens still lack access to the tools and skills they need to participate in the digital age. This is not only a technology gap, it is a development gap. It is a gender gap, a generational gap, and often a geographical gap. Fortunately, we have strong foundations on which to build a more just global information society. The recent Global Digital Compact, adopted as part of the Pact for the Future, is another solid framework for improving digital cooperation and closing the digital divide. It calls on governments and stakeholders to forge partnerships to realize the vision of the World Summit on the Information Society. A vision of a people-centered, inclusive, and development-oriented information society. I thank the co-facilitators, the permanent representatives of Albania and Kenya for chairing today's important consultations. I reaffirm my commitment to ensuring this review process is inclusive and transparent. On behalf of the President of the General Assembly, I urge all stakeholders to actively participate in today's consultation and engage meaningfully in shaping the future we envision. I wish you productive deliberations and look forward to your invaluable insights. I thank you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you very much, Chef de Cabinet, for these important and inspiring remarks. Distinguished colleagues, as co-facilitators, we look forward to listening closely to you and to your contributions today, which will help shape a forward-looking and inclusive WSIS+20 outcome. As outlined in the concept note, this consultation is part of a two-day series to gather the perspective of all stakeholders. Today's focus is primarily on participants from the Asia-Pacific and the Americas. Tomorrow, we'll continue with interventions from UN agencies and stakeholders, especially from Europe and Africa. Your insights will inform the element papers, which will serve as the basis for preparing the zero draft in August, and ultimately the outcome document for the high-level General Assembly meeting in December. We also wish to thank the member states participating in these consultations for their commitment to listen to and engaging with stakeholders in this process. Following the first preparatory meeting and stock-taking session on 30th of May, member states reaffirmed the WSIS vision as a foundation for inclusive digital development, emphasizing the role of ICTs in achieving the SDGs, bridging digital divides, and ensuring alignment with the Global Digital Compact. The importance of reinforcing the Internet Governance Forum, IGF, and promoting ethical digital governance was also underscored. A full summary of that session is available on the Secretariat's website. Last week, we also had the opportunity to participate in the UNESCO Conference on Capacity Building on AI and Digital Transformation in the Public Sector. We heard strong calls for governance models that are agile, inclusive, and responsive to emerging technologies like AI and neurotechnology, while staying firmly rooted in human rights and multi-stakeholder values. Today marks the first dedicated stakeholder consultation for the WSIS+20 process. Your contributions are not only welcome, they are essential. Before we begin, let me briefly remind you the guiding questions circulated in the concept note. First, to what extent and how has the vision of a people-centered, inclusive, and development-oriented information society evolved over the past 20 years? Second, what are the key priorities and challenges to implementation of WSIS outcomes today? And the third question, how can cooperation through WSIS mechanisms, together with the Global Digital Compact, enhance coherence and inclusivity in digital governance? Before we open the floor, I will now invite the Secretary to share a few housekeeping announcements. Secretary, you have the floor. Dennis, please, you can go on.
Yeah, thank you, Ambassador. Each speaker will have a maximum of 3 minutes, and your microphone will be controlled by the Secretariat to ensure a smooth process. And a timer will also appear on the screen to help manage your time. We hope that you will respect the time limit to allow all participants a chance to speak. Some are joining from late time zones. And also, if your name is not on the speakers list and time permits at the end, you may raise your hand to request the floor. And all written statements are welcome and can be sent to unga-WSIS@WSIS.org. We will put this email address in the chat.
Thank you, Dennis, for this clarification. I would like now to start with the first speaker. I invite now Mr. Vint Cerf, Chair of the Internet Governance Forum Leadership Panel, to take the floor. Mr. Cerf, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator, and let me thank you and all attendees on behalf of the Leadership Panel and the Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group. We're very grateful for this opportunity to speak, and we bring warm wishes to all of the member states and participants in this consultation. The internet and digital technology have become core components of daily life and work. Nothing illustrates this more strongly than the rapid spread of smartphones, laptops, cloud computing, and the internet. The WSIS members saw this coming 20 years ago. At this point, the leadership panel has a few observations that we would like to offer. First, the IGF, a product of WSIS, should be renewed for at least a decade, if not permanently. It should become a unique and funded and multi-stakeholder component of the UN system. The IGF can and should focus on intersessional work and collaboration through the existing NRIs and other like-minded organizations. The leadership panel is eager to work with the MAG and the NRIs, the national and regional IGFs, to help evaluate the implementation of the Global Digital Compact. We must continue to work hard to achieve meaningful access to the internet for everyone. The IGF should work together with the member states, the MAG, the NRI to improve the utility of digital technology for the world's citizens. We look forward especially to applying the UNESCO ROMEX metrics to assess how well we are doing in making the internet and digital technologies worthy of the time and effort put into it. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sir, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Joyce Chen from Asia Pacific Network Information Center. Please, you have the floor.
Good morning, Chair, co-facilitators all. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Asia Pacific Network Information Center, or APNIC, the regional internet registry serving 56 economies in the Asia Pacific region. As an RIR, we are part of the internet infrastructure delivering on our core mission, the distribution and responsible management of internet number resources, and to support for the open, stable, secure, and resilient operation of the internet in our region. As we take stock of the WSIS outcomes, the internet technical community, including APNIC and our peer RIRs, ICANN, and the IETF, has played an essential role in realizing the connectivity and capacity building goals of the WSIS action lines. We have worked tirelessly to support internet infrastructure development, strengthen internet governance capacity, and build trusted multi-stakeholder partnerships across governments, the private sector, civil society, and academia. In April 2025, our APNIC labs recorded IPv6 capability exceeding 50% in our region. It took 25 years for Asia Pacific's internet operations community to achieve this significant milestone. This milestone reflects the internet's growth in our region, and we at APNIC have ensured that the allocation of numbering resources has kept pace with this growth. Our community, the technical community, has worked to deploy Resource Public Key Infrastructure, or RPKI, a public key infrastructure framework designed to secure the internet's routing infrastructure. APNIC functions as a critical trust anchor, which acts as the root of trust, providing the foundational level of verification for digitally signed certificates and validating the authenticity of IP addresses and autonomous system numbers, or what we know as ASNs. An updated WSIS framework is critical for the continued functioning of the internet. We recommend a few areas for consideration. First, clearer definition of digital governance and cooperation. There is complementarity between the GDC and WSIS, whereby each leverage their strengths and not duplicate processes. Second, strengthening the role of the IGF, including sustainable resourcing for its effective functioning. The IGF's multi-stakeholder and bottom-up agenda setting process have been a key in line with the definition of multi-stakeholder internet governance and should continue. We are fully supportive of the IGF national and regional initiatives, or NRIs, such as the Asia Pacific Regional IGF, which provide invaluable and practical spaces for dialogue amongst local and regional communities. Third, for greater accountability, the WSIS+20 review process should remain open and inclusive for all stakeholders to engage and contribute. The Sao Paulo Multi-Stakeholder Guidelines is a useful reference in this regard. Fourth, continued recognition of the internet technical community as a distinct stakeholder group in the foundational functioning of the internet. Internet organizations and their communities, such as ICANN, the IETF, and RIRs, collaborate as part of the multi-stakeholder community of internet governance to ensure that the internet works seamlessly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Chen, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Amrita Chodhur from Cyber Cafe Association of India. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, and hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellencies and facilitators and attendees, greetings from India. Thank you for this opportunity, and my comments are based on the inputs we received from a stakeholder consultation we had organized in India. The WSIS process has significantly advanced global digital inclusion and contributed to bridging the digital divides, And the WSIS process and forums like the IGF have played a critical role in advancing these efforts and have established structures of accountability, facilitated international cooperation in truly multi-stakeholder bottom-up model where developing countries can actively participate in equitable manner and support tangible progress in digital inclusion. Needless to say, much more needs to be done, and the WSIS+20 review marks a pivotal moment in global digital governance, offering an opportunity to recalibrate global commitments, strengthen multi-stakeholder cooperation, and reinforce WSIS as a cornerstone of inclusive, rights-based digital development. This is a crucial time to ensure that emerging economies and developing countries get to play a decisive role in shaping the future of digital governance norms. The WSIS mandates needs to be renewed with a broader scope in order to adapt to address evolving challenges while upholding the foundational values of inclusion, equity, and multi-stakeholder collaboration. This includes expanding its scope to cover emerging technologies and present-day concerns while promoting inclusive and accessible digital systems. The IGF needs to be renewed with a permanent mandate and stable funding. To enhance an effectiveness and coherence of global digital governance, greater efforts should be made to reduce duplication across initiatives and create stronger linkages between existing processes such as the WSIS, the IGF, and the emerging frameworks like the GDC. Establishing structured coordination among these platforms can improve efficiency, optimize stakeholder participation, and ensure the shared goals, such as equity, inclusion, and accountability, are pursued in a complementary manner. Also, there is a need to promote inclusive and accessible digital systems, promote equitable digital governance and rights-based frameworks, promote equitable development for digital empowerment of the marginalized, address challenges posed by emerging technology, address climate change and sustainability and integrate climate justice principles into digital policy, and ensure the internet remains open, secure, interoperable, and globally accessible. We will be submitting our comments, but thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Choudhury, for your comments. I would like now to invite Ms. Adriana Labardini from Ricomatica to take the floor.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of Ricomatica, thank you for listening to us. In 2003, the Geneva Declaration committed to transforming the digital divide into a digital opportunity for all, especially for those at risk of exclusion. To achieve this, WSIS Action Line 2 recognized that ICT infrastructure was the foundation of this vision. In 2005, the Tunis Agenda reaffirmed these commitments and built on them by focusing on financial mechanisms for bridging the digital divide. But let's be clear, that focus was deliberately vague. It masked a broader reluctance from many governments to commit to concrete, actionable financing instruments. As a result, the telecom sector has since been driven largely by for-profit commercial operators, thus excluding areas and communities that are not profitable. This misalignment has left the original WSIS vision of an inclusive, people-centered information society largely unrealized. Yes, market-driven models have expanded coverage in many cities, but 2 decades after the Geneva Declaration, billions of people remain offline. This digital divide is deepening socio-economic inequality. Truth is, we need new thinking. The WSIS review must champion innovative financing strategies beyond those focused on maximizing shareholders' profits. The Tunis Agenda already recommended accelerating domestic financial instruments by supporting initiatives based on local communities. Yet, these recommendations have remained unimplemented and overlooked. Today, a paradigm shift is urgent. We must combine innovative financing with enabling regulation to support community-centered connectivity initiatives, just like the Global Digital Compact committed to. To support this transformation, we call on the WSIS co-facilitators to reflect the following in the Elements paper. First, acknowledge that digital inequality is worsening. Second, recognize that meeting this challenge requires tangible commitments from member states and stakeholders to first, diversify the access ecosystem beyond for-profit models, remove regulatory barriers, enable access to unused spectrum through sharing frameworks, make backbone networks more available and affordable for local networks, raise awareness and build capacity around these models, especially among regulators and policymakers. And finally, develop fit-for-purpose financial instruments for local networks that blend public finance like USFs, private financing from social investors, and philanthropy. This is our last chance to deliver on the promise made for 20 years ago in Geneva. We cannot afford to waste it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Labardini. Now I'd like to invite Ms. Carolina Guti from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development of Uganda. Ms. Aguti, are you online?
Thank you, Madam Facilitator. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. You can
Thank
continue.
you, Madam Facilitator.
Can you please turn on your camera, please? We don't see you. We hear you, but we don't see you. If you can turn on your camera.
I am not sure I can turn on my camera. Can I just proceed?
Yeah, you can proceed. Please, go on.
Yes, Uganda, thank you, Madam Facilitator. Uganda recognizes the WSIS framework as a cornerstone for inclusive and ICT-driven sustainable development. And Uganda recognizes that WSIS framework is very important for sustainable development. Progress has been made in various sectors, including digitalization of the energy and extractives industry, with deployment of digital systems, but gaps still exist that have to be enhanced to deliver sustainable digitalization and improve service delivery. Key priorities for WSIS implementation are increasing energy access, improving grid reliability, increasing local manufacturing in the low-income countries, sustainable extraction of critical minerals, deployment of data centers, and sustainable waste management across the value chain. The key challenges that are faced are limited access and affordability, digital literacy gaps, limited infrastructure, uncoordinated ICT initiatives, funding constraints, limited integration, and moral degradation. And we definitely need to focus on that aspects on looking at technology and regulatory awareness, the need for inclusive digital society with the targeted programs to ensure access to affordable, accessible digital systems which are culturally relevant to content, the need for stakeholder engagement and accountability, and the need to ensure that we have stable power supply and deployment of the critical minerals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Aguti, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Peixi Tu from Communication University of China. We don't hear you. Can you please try to connect with voice? I think we have a problem with the connection. Maybe we can continue with another speaker, and if you can try a little bit later, we can accommodate you. Okay, then I would like to invite Dr. Nazar Kirama from the Internet Society of Tanzania. Dr. Kirama, are you online? Okay, I think we have also some problem being connected with Dr. Kirama. I would like to invite Yasmin Ko from Hong Kong Youth IGF. Ms. Ko, are you online? I think we have some issue of connecting with the colleagues that have asked for the floor, but we can also try to connect later on. I would like to see if Chuang Liu from Institute of Geographical Sciences and Natural Resources Research, Chinese Academy of Science, can hear us and is able to connect now. Mr. Liu?
We move to number 10.
Okay, it seems a little bit difficult, but I may ask now Amrit Kumar from Dynamic Teen Coalition.
Yes, thank you, facilitators. I will be
Yes,
speaking
thank
today on behalf of the Dynamic Teen Coalition, the first and only teen-led board at the United Nations. Over the past 20 years, since the WSIS, we've seen tremendous growth in digital participation, but that growth has been outpaced by the frameworks that govern it. The original vision of a people-centered, inclusive, and development-oriented information society cannot be realized if entire age groups are still structurally excluded. At the UN, youth is still often defined as 18 to 35. This excludes teens aged 13 to 19, despite the fact that they're legally and actively participating in global digital life, on social platforms, in coding communities, in open science, and in international discourse. To respond to this gap, the Dynamic Teen Coalition has developed a realistic age structure that reflects how people actually participate across their lifespan, especially online. We propose from 0 to 12, child, a stage focused on protection and safety. 13 to 19, a group teen focused on human rights, identity development, and digital citizenship. 18 plus, which is early career, a self-selected stage that bridges experience and maturity. Mid-career, where networks, impact, and leadership take shape. And finally, senior career, a time for mentorship, legacy, and structural guidance. This structure is grounded in real practice. DTC's teens have led consultations at the IGF, contribute to the ITU's Virtual Worlds initiatives, and are recognized by the UN Foundation. We don't need permission to participate. We're already doing the work. What we need is a system that reflects the reality. The current challenges implementing WSIS outcomes is not just technical, it's structural. Exclusion by age is a policy failure that can and must be addressed. Our ask is simple. Update UN and WSIS-related age categories to reflect real digital participation. Second, eliminate unnecessary age caps that prevent teens from registering or contributing to initiatives. Thirdly, institutionalize teen-led participation through funded pathways, not just token invitations. We believe inclusive, lifelong multi-stakeholder cooperation, especially through the WSIS+20 and the Global Digital Compact, can only be meaningful when all stakeholders are actually included. That means building with, not just for teens. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrit, for your contribution. We really need to hear your voice and to address your voices. I would like now to invite Ms. Amalie de Silva Michel from IGF Dynamic Coalitions.
She's here, but she cannot be promoted to panel. She's not accepting, so we can move to the next one.
Okay. We'll try late to connect with the colleagues that cannot connect right now. I would like to invite Mr. Nicolas Fiumarelli from Internet Society of Uruguay chapter and ICOC Alumni Network.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello, this is Amali De Silva Mitchell. I was just given the unmute. Should I continue?
Yes. Can we continue with Amali and then call back Mr. Nicholas? Mr. Nicholas agrees, so Amali, you can continue.
Thank you. So I'm from the Internet Governance Forum, Dynamic Coalition on Data-Driven Health Technologies. And I want to say thank you very much for the whole WSIS process over the past 20 years. Thank you for Internet Governance Forum. Thank you for the WSIS Forum. Thank you for all the UN partners in including in a very diverse and inclusive manner individual voices. And we really appreciate that. As we are a patient-driven group, we are very concerned about the ability for individual voices to be heard and not, let's call it, smothered. So it's very important for data-driven technologies to hear the individual personal voice. Now, quite often, these individual voices are people with low skills. So we need to be able to facilitate the voices of these individuals as they use healthcare. ICT technology has been incredibly supportive in providing digital health services for the global public. But we are concerned about certain things like misinformation. And recently we hear about malign artificial intelligence, and we see this developing due to poor data qualities. So with this tremendous speed of change that we are having, tremendous issues of interoperability between the various devices, especially patients will use from a computer to a tablet to a mobile phone, we see there is a great need to be very conscious of these issues. And especially the same values and norms are not present in every society. So there are societal differences, cultural differences, and these must always be thought of. So we really ask, going to the future, that the quality of data be emphasized in the capture into various systems. And that is absolutely critical, please. So thank you very much. We are very pleased with the whole process so far, and we really wish many more years of this process would be open for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. De Silva Michel, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Mr. Nicolas Fiumarelli from Internet Society of Uruguay. Mr. Fiumarelli, you have the floor.
Thank you, Excellencies and colleagues. My name is Nicolas Fiumarelli from Internet Society Uruguay and the Internet Society Alumni Network. I speak today as part of the technical community and also as someone who's seen how local action can shape global policy in meaningful and measurable ways. There's a lot to talk about inclusion, about youth participation, but in our region, we actively lived it. Just to put, for instance, you have the Youth IGF in Colombia, with its annual forum organized by student local actors and young technologists. The discussion didn't end in the room, right? They flowed directly into the national IGF in Colombia, became part of the regional LAC IGF, and then made their way to the agenda of the global IGF last year in Riyadh, as an example. So that's not symbolic, that's the bottom-up and consensus internet governance. Analog to the RIRs previously mentioned and the ITF too. And it's not an isolated story, it's a pattern across the world. National IGF in Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, and beyond are all shaping local public debates, civil frameworks, as in Brazil, national strategies, policy roadmap, and the most important, community priorities. Brazil Youth Program, launched by CGI Brazil in 2015, has trained over and brought thousands of young people, not just to attend meetings, but to lead sessions, shape frameworks, and write internet policy with purpose. So many of these young leaders around the world are here today at this call, actively contributing. So this is closely aligning with the WSIS action line C4 on capacity building, and it serves as a clear proof that when all stakeholders are engaged, society evolves. So these are not one-off initiatives. They are systems of engagement. So this is reflecting the WSIS action lines, especially as I say, capacity building, but also enabling environment. So this is why the Internet Society has invested so consistently in these spaces, through the Youth Ambassador Program, regional dialogues, and now community focal points engagement with the WSIS+20. So it means that we have multi-stakeholderism, government, civil society, private sector, etc. We come together not in parallel, but in the same space. So this is not top-down, it's co-created. That is the Internet Governance Forum with 165 national and regional IGF and youth IGF. It's a transparent, ongoing. As the IGF leadership panel expressed before, the IGF is neutral and non-negotiation. It is productive thanks to the dynamic coalitions and the policy networks. For example, as a representative of the dynamic coalition on internet governance, the dynamic coalition on internet standards, we were seeing how these inequalities are worsening. Also, universal acceptance readiness, mentioned in the UNESCO ROMEX indicators now, is showcasing this. So this is a call to not duplicate efforts. So let's coordinate, let's invest in what already shown. It can scale, adapt, and bring people together to shape our common digital future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fiumarelli, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Bazlur Rahman from Bangladesh NGOs Network for Radio and Communication. Mr. Rahman,
Your Excellency, Bangladesh NGOs Network for Radio and Communication and Bangladesh Internet Governance Forum have advocated for the implementation of the WSIS action lines C1 to C11 and the IGF agenda in Bangladesh since 2006. Your Excellency, the essential objective of the WSIS mandate have yet to be fully realized as outlined in the Geneva Plan and Geneva Plan of Action and the Tunis agenda for action. It is important to enhance the effectiveness of the WSIS forum and to promote the localization of WSIS initiative. Furthermore, we should prioritize annual monitoring, implementation, and review process at the country level to ensure sustainable progress. What is urgently needed is a permanent, reinforced, and even more inclusive WSIS and IGF with sustainable funding at both the secretariats and the country level. Your Excellency, integrated WSIS, IGF, and GDC process at the UN resident coordinator system at the country level. We would greatly appreciate your consideration to include the annual monitoring and implementation and review of WSIS at country level in collaboration with the UN resident coordinator and engagement with multi-stakeholder in a manner that suits the country-specific need. Your Excellency, I conclude, we express our strong support for digital justice now, a call to action for WSIS 20 and beyond, articulated by the Global Digital Justice Forum, 5-point plan for inclusive WSIS 20, initiated by Global Partners Digital and Global Forum for Media Development, GFMD, regarding the WSIS 20 review process. We urgently need your attention to this matter. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Rahman, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Pio Thierry Luin from Youth IGF Myanmar and Youth IGF Southeast Asia.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. You can continue.
Okay, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. This is Pio Thierry from the UNGF Myanmar and the South Asia UNGF. It is my honor to contribute to this consultation. As we know, the Asia Pacific is a home to the over half of the world internet user, placing as a very front for of the digital innovation, adoption, and transformation. Despite this rapid extension, we still face a digital divide both between and within the country. Our region is incredibly diverse, straightening from the dynamic East Asian economy to rapid developing nation in the Southeast and South Asia. We also grapple with the emerging ethical considerations and the imperative to build the secure and trustworthy digital environment for everyone. As we deliberate on the next 2 decades of the information society, we as a youth want to emphasize the critical importance of the inclusive participation and multi-stakeholder collaboration, and also from the perspective or from this perspective, we firmly support the internet governance model as a cornerstone for the future digital discussion, as it is an invaluable platform for fostering dialogue among the different multi-stakeholder, including the young people. And it is also provide the essential space for the voices to be had to learn and to contribute meaningfully to the internet governance discussion. We have been seeing firsthand how the IGF empower the young people as for example, like me, I have been learned a lot at the IGF space, and I and also deliver and share the information and also exchange the knowledge back within the regions and within the community. So meaningful engagement, it also require more than just listen. It demands at the inclusion throughout the WSIS process and beyond. As the digital landscape evolves, IGF's role and position should not be limited to a single space or the narrow defined discussion. And in the future, we must adapt and broaden its reach to the more to remain the relevant and impactful. And also the digital future are also belong to RS, and we are not just a user of the technology, internet. We are the co-creator, innovator, and steward. And we believe that the robust and inclusive internet governance model demonstrated by the IGF model is essential for building the truly equitable, sustainable, and human-centric information society that bring more voices from the vulnerable community, like young people and like teenager, to the forefront. Thank you very much for listening. And this is the future belong to RS, and everyone is responsible for our future. And every generation need to take accountabilities and responsibility with action while ensure all stakeholder generation voices are heard and listen to, and also leaving no one behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lin, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Nandini Chammi from IT for Change and Global Digital Justice Forum. Ms. Chammi, you have the floor.
Thank you. Greetings. My name is Nandini. I speak on behalf of the India-based not-for-profit organization IT for Change and the Southern Civil Society Coalition Global Digital Justice Forum. 1/3 of the world's population is still offline, most of whom are in developing countries. Even as stubborn divides in internet access persist, connectivity itself has proven to be a necessary but insufficient condition for digital equality. The infrastructural capabilities and patents to realize the innovation dividends of the new network technologies are concentrated in powerful corporate monopolies from just 2 countries. The rulebook of the digital economy is currently being written in many policy forums, often in an extremely fragmented manner, decoupled from comprehensive considerations of human rights, socio-economic, and gender justice. Often this is in ways where the countries of the Global South are excluded and denied the power to shape their autonomous development destinies. The vision of the WSIS Geneva Declaration, where states rededicated themselves to upholding the principle of the sovereign equality of all states, the commitment to the right to development, and building a rich public domain, has only acquired renewed significance. The Global Digital Justice Forum urges the WSIS+20 review to factor in the following priorities and pave the way for a digital governance paradigm which moves beyond a narrow stakeholderism to meaningful democratic engagement, prioritizing the voices of the people of the majority world and their governments, smaller private sector actors, and public interest technologies. Priority 1, reclaim the internet as a global communication commons. Address corporate accountability for human rights violations in transnational digital value chains. Institute public financing guarantees for the development of sovereign digital public infrastructure in the Global South through measures such as a digital development tax on internet corporations. Acknowledge the imperative to reform trade taxation and IP regimes for a just international economic order based on digital non-alignment. And finally, commit to ecological justice in digital innovation choices. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandini, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Alia Gupta from Dynamic Teen Coalition. Alia, you have the floor.
Yes, just give me 1 second. Am I visible?
No, we don't see you, but we hear you.
Okay, may I speak? It's not
Yes,
letting me.
you can continue without video.
Okay, thank you. I speak for the Dynamic Teen Coalition, a global teen-led network that is actively researching and engaging in digital governance across the IGF, across the NRIs, across the ITU, the UN Foundation, and even other platform policies. And as WSIS is the future of multi-stakeholder policies, DTC's work reveals patterns of exclusion that operate through structural gaps and outdated frameworks. Now, in our audit of over 50 NRIs worldwide, most either lack clear age or participation criteria or default to narrow definitions that exclude many voices. Without formal recognition or even standardized definitions, entire groups, especially the younger or the informal digital actors, are left out by default, unable to access any of such forums. Now, for example, the IGF Youth Program, which focused on the SHIP program that was restricted to participation for ages 18D, blocking younger leaders and emerging contributors from engagement despite their commitment that is shown through our ageism study. Now, we are also tracking a growing pattern of teen brands across major social media platforms where young people are removed from spaces that are critical to digital civic engagement. These bans happen with limited transparency, shrinking the very public spheres the governance take place. Together, these practices create exclusion by default. Now, not always by explicit intent, but with deep consequences. The voices shaping policies are increasingly disconnected from the diverse communities affected. This reflects to a broader structural problem in multi-stakeholderism. Static stakeholder models fail to adapt to evolving digital realities, and to address this, DTC proposes a tested alternative. DTC has a lifelong multi-stakeholder model that is inclusive for all age groups from teen to senior career professionals, which recognizes digital participation spanning childhood through adulthood. It balances protection with empowerment, especially for emerging participants, and establishes flexible, self-selected participation pathways rather than a rigid age or status cutoff, which we strictly urge as essential recommendations at this platform. We have used this approach in multiple forums and community consultations that demonstrate its viability and benefits for inclusion and legitimacy. This is a critical moment, not just to acknowledge these gaps, but to act decisively to close them. Here at the end, I ask that we, the teens, must be included in a platform that shape our future. The point being that only by evolving multi-stakeholderism into a flexible, inclusive, lifelong model can we truly ensure digital governance that reflects and serves all users. Thank you.
Thank you, Alia, for your contribution. I would like now to invite Jasmine Ko from Hong Kong Youth IGF. Jasmine, you have the floor.
Hello, am I audible? Hello, Excellency, and honorable delegates, and also colleagues, members of the global community. As a representative of Hong Kong Youth and the convener of the Hong Kong Youth Internet Governance Forum, we're here to reflect what have the process, WSIS+20 process have been impacting our community and society as well. So over the past 2 decades, which is most of my four-fifth of my lifespan, the time that I've experienced how this informal society has evolved, the significance. The focus has been always on bridging the digital divide and promoting access to information and communication technology. However, while we expect encompassing not just the access, we're still witnessing a problem to bridge those who are not yet ready to onboard on a meaningful participation in the internet governance and also the information system society. The rise of the social media and different emerging technology has bring new challenges, including misinformation and privacy concern, etc. Being one of the NRI, National Regional Network of the IGF Internet Governance Forums, we want to emphasize that the importance of renewing the IGF remains, and also to emphasize that this is a very important network that we have been treasuring and emphasizing. This is how the authentic and meaningful multi-stakeholder approach could be keep on implementing, and make sure that the global visions are shaped by the multiple economics and also stakeholder groups of worldwide. So the priority and the challenges have always been and about enhancing digital literacy, which is aligned related to our theme of Hong Kong-wide IGF on smart economy, which actually stands for Sustainable Multi-Stakeholder Involved, Accountable, Resilient, and Trust Network. So this is the smart digital economy that we have been wanting to promote, because this is something that we see as part of the wider developed economies in the globe. We would like to play a role and be meaningful voices and participation in this community. And then we have been delivering a youth statement on behalf of Hong Kong youth, and we want to collaborate and synergize more with not just youth from the other part of the world, but also other stakeholders beyond the youth network as well. We want to make sure that no one is left behind, regardless of your economic, societal status. So that's the vision we would like to communicate. We would want to edge for more effective communication, and make sure that our efforts, our synergetic voices do not duplicate, but actually to build on each other work and to share information and share ideas and co-build a more inclusive and sustainable internet together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jasmine, for your views and for your contribution. We have another request for the floor. Mr. Cerf, would you like to intervene again?
Yeah.
If it's so, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for allowing me a second bite at the apple, as they say. I just wanted to observe how passionate the youth message has come through in this discussion tonight. And I want to reassure those who were speaking that I am listening to this and will convey that point to the leadership panel and to the multi-stakeholder advisory group. I might look old, and I am old, but I'm happy to say that the youth will inherit all of our mistakes and perhaps fix them. So I'm looking forward to finding more ways for our younger colleagues to participate in what is a very important initiative, the WSIS+20.
Thank you, Mrs. Cerf, for this remark. And indeed, we hear them, and we'll need to take into account the voices of the youth everywhere where they come, especially in this process that we are going to address together. So we are coming to the end of the list of the speakers, but if there is any other colleague that would like to take the floor, and I see Chef de Cabinet, you'd like to intervene? Yes, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I didn't want to take the floor, but after listening to all the interventions, I'm so motivated, so thrilled by the energy from everyone. And I know that the process that you, Madam Ambassador, as co-facilitator, you are leading this process. I just would like to tell all those who are participating in this stakeholder event tonight to say that this is our moment. The issue we are dealing with is very topical. It's with us. It's part of our life now and in the future. Things are only going to get better, but getting better also comes with some complexities. And we need a sense of responsibility to be able to unravel, to unpack all what is in front of us. And I've listened to all the interventions from all the corners of the regions we are covering tonight. We'll continue tomorrow with the other regions. But the essential message I'm giving after my opening remarks is just that please be positive. The process, as has been initiated, would take on board as much as possible all the views and all the contributions in a very federated manner, so that at the meeting we're planning, we would, 20 years after this whole idea of the World Summit on Information Society started, this time around, we're going to make some very tangible progress. So I just wanted to leave participants with these ideas of this optimism, this hope that we have, and to say that again, Madam Ambassador and co-facilitators of this process, we are with you. We will give you the full support, and we know that the participants too are eager for change. We too are eager for change. We're eager for progress. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chef de Cabinet, indeed, for this concluding remarks by our side. They are very encouraging to us as co-facilitators, but I hope they give a strong message also to the stakeholders on the seriousness and the importance of this process. And I'd also like to take this opportunity as well to express through you the gratitude to the President of the General Assembly for the support he has shown by the start of this process, and we hope to continue until we conclude successfully this process in December in the high-level event in the General Assembly. We count a lot on your office and the support of the PGA. If there is no any other request from the colleagues to take the floor, I'm just particularly asking if any of the colleagues that were not able to connect online could have taken time maybe, but it seems that it's not the case. If there is no other request for the floor, allow me to address you a few closing remarks. First of all, to thank everyone and each of you for your thoughtful contributions. Your views and experiences shared today are very valuable to us during this process, and we'll continue to gather further stakeholder input tomorrow with other parts and other regions. Following this consultation, we'll publish the elements paper on June 20th, which will guide subsequent steps in the WSIS+20 process. We encourage all stakeholders to continue engaging actively and to participate in the upcoming key events, notably the 10th Internet Governance Forum in Norway later this month, and the WSIS+20 High-Level Forum in Geneva this July. Thank you again for your participation and valuable inputs today. Together, let us continue our journey toward an inclusive, equitable, and sustainable digital future. Thank you, and I wish you all the best, and let's be in touch, please. As Chef de Cabinet say, be very much interested on this process, contribute, because this is a process that belongs to everyone, to all of us. Thank you, and we look forward to your contribution in our next meetings. The meeting is closed.